What's up, crypto gang? Welcome back to another episode of Hack Crypto, where we hack our cryptocurrency and blockchain education. If you guys are brand new here, we do a small little giveaway at the beginning of every single episode, and today's winner is Ryan Berg. Thanks so much for commenting on the previous video, Ryan, about comparing Divi Wallet and Crypto.com. That was really exciting and a really great comment. If you guys want to win, like this video, comment with something about the video in the comment section below, and don't forget to be subscribed. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. It is 2021 now. We survived 2020. It was a crazy year for all investors, for everybody all across the world. It has been an epic run. So if you guys are brand new to the channel, I took a little bit of time off, and this year I'm taking off running with the channel. So a lot of exciting things coming to the Hack Crypto community. Love you guys very much for all the amazing support. You guys have been really DMing me a lot over the past couple of weeks here about this run up that happened in the cryptocurrency space. Very exciting. But what I wanted to talk about today was something a little bit more broad with investing, and I'm not a financial advisor. If your financial advisor is telling you not to invest in anything around cryptocurrency, you should fire them. So what I want to talk about today is something I've seen a lot in the comment section, not only on Instagram and TikTok, but here on YouTube, and it's about rebalancing. It's just a fancy term for moving investments into other assets when you go up in value. For example, with something like a Bitcoin holding, let's say you 10x over the next year, what you need to do is you need to figure out how you're going to rebalance and move some of that wealth into other assets and diversify it across a bunch of different assets. Now, this tactic is something that all traditional investors use. As you guys know from the channel, I'm all about alternative investments, and this applies to alternative investments as well, because you want to make sure that you're diversified out. And this is something I've been doing a lot of research on over the past couple of months, just because I think that it's really important to understand the basics. And a lot of people always talk about, these high level investment strategies and things like that. But ultimately, the basics will set you free. When you talk to a financial advisor sitting across from you at like Bank of America or Chase or something like that, they're going to talk about, 50% stocks, 50% bonds, or 25% in mutual funds or something like that. They're going to move it around. And I've had a lot of experience sitting across from financial advisors who give you various different pieces of advice. But ultimately, it is up to you. You are the one that is controlling where the money is going. You're responsible for your own financial force. That there's something to be said about rebalancing when it comes to the counterparty risk. So if someone else is managing that asset that you are rebalancing into, you need to bake that into how much percentage you're moving over there. So let's look at it as a pie. Let's say Joe has a pie that has $100,000 in it, we'll say, just to make round numbers here, $100,000, and 25% of it is in Bitcoin right now, and of it is in stocks in the stock market, let's say S&P 500, and then we have another 25% just sitting in savings, in cash for emergency funds. So he's split across all these three kind of tranches, we'll say, of investments. And what he wants to do is, when Bitcoin runs up over the next bull run here in 2021 that we're witnessing now, he wants to rebalance. So he wants to move some of that money because pretty soon that Bitcoin will then become 50%. It'll then become 75% of his portfolio, because that's the value of Bitcoin going up, and it's surpassing his value in stocks. And what he wants to do is he wants to figure out, okay, I need to move some of that value from the Bitcoin increase over to real estate, or over into gold, or something that is, a hard asset that I can hold on to and give to my great-grandchildren, pass down to my great-grandchildren. So there's a couple things that this guy, Joe, our imaginary figure here, needs to think about. And the first one being taxes. Definitely need to research how much you are going to be paying in taxes. This is ultimately how a lot of the wealthy maintain their wealth is through debt and taxes. They understand those two very, very well. They understand how to leverage debt to make more income, and they understand how to pay less in taxes by reducing their tax liability through various different vehicles. They have a lot of tax strategists working for them, and so on. Whole nother video on that. But when we're talking about Joe, who just has his $100,000 nest egg, amazing job, Joe, for keeping that $100,000 across all these, different assets. Let's say Bitcoin shoots up to 100,000. So all of a sudden, Joe has doubled his net worth in a year. And all of a sudden, he needs to really move some of that Bitcoin into real estate. How does that work? What needs to happen for Joe, based on my research and based on other people's research that I've talked to about this, Joe can directly go to a seller of a home, someone that has a property that is looking to sell for Bitcoin, peer-to-peer purchase, if you could call it that, where you're literally paying similar to how you would pay cash, you're just paying in Bitcoin. Let's say they want to accumulate Bitcoin at that time and you're able to do that transaction. Now that is best case scenario, because in that scenario, everything's on paper, everything is clear cut. The seller's paying taxes, you're paying taxes, everything is crystal clear. Now, the other way that is probably what most people are going to be doing and what Joe will probably end up doing is he's going to have to cash that quickly into fiat and then move it into the asset. Depending on how much money Joe is making, not that $100,000, but how much money Joe is making every year, that determines what his tax bracket is. When you're about to move money from the cryptocurrency portfolio into something like real estate or into something like gold or into something like silver, you just have to understand taxes, your tax bracket, and how that's going to work. Now that Joe has figured out, all right, I want to move some of this Bitcoin out into a rental property. I haven't been able to find someone that's going to sell it directly for Bitcoin, an investor that's trying to offload some of his portfolio of real estate for Bitcoin. Haven't been able to find that. So he goes through the process of selling, keeps 20% of it to pay the state and federal taxes for him withdrawing those funds into USD. Quickly, he sends that transaction over to the seller, buys a rental property. Beautiful job. Now his pie shifts from, let's say, 50% of his net worth back down to 25%. And he has a rental property that then makes up for a chunk of that pie. Let's say it's 10% or 15%. Try and stay as balanced as possible and do your rebalance when you feel ready. Set price targets when you are ready. And ultimately, this is going to apply for trading stocks as well. If you want to move something out, or you want to move cash out of the stock market into another asset, like a business, buying up a business on Flippa or something like that, that you want to manage, that's another great vehicle as well. But ultimately, understanding taxes and understanding how to leverage debt is how the wealthy really thrive during corrections. And I think that is what we are headed towards. That's what a lot of people would agree with me on, that there is a reset of some sorts coming. But I highly recommend researching rebalancing. Google it. Very simple to understand, but very difficult to implement correctly. So research taxes in your area where you are. And that's pretty much it for this video. I wanted to talk about the taxes. I wanted to talk about the rebalancing. I wanted to talk about the Bitcoin bull run. I wanted to talk about how bullish I am on 2021. Very exciting year, not only because I have a newborn, but because this is just a bull run of epic proportions with institutions buying everywhere. And we're watching history being made. Biggest wealth transfer in history. Have any questions, definitely shoot me a DM. A lot of you guys have been, especially on TikTok recently. A lot of people have been DMing me about rebalancing and things like that. That is it for this video. If you guys like it, definitely smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Hack Crypto.